Objection, Your Honor. Relevance goes to foundation.
I don't understand your point there, Mr. McCaffrey.
My point is that Bank of America is listed as the beneficiary on a foreclosure document, and that document that was provided to the court, we have found through discovery and also from Bank of America that this loan is in a trust, and the trustee is the Bank of New York Mellon Bank, and therefore Bank of America has no standing in this courtroom, and I'm not sure why they're here today.
Defense concurs. We'll happily leave and accept a dismissal.
Mr. McCaffrey, do you have something to say to that before I rule?
I think I won again, didn't I?
No,
No.
you just lost.
Because he's,
Yeah, you see, remember, if you mix up this case with the non-judicial, this case is to prove the fraud in the non-judicial. You see that a lot. Your contention went to the fraud of this case. See, I want to get out of this case. You gave me an out on this case. You want to contend to the fraud in the non-judicial matter. You can't make that mistake. And I understand you're not a lawyer and you don't play on this side, you play on that side. This side is nothing like that side, okay? Do not expect to be able to play on that side and play on this side. You know, you don't see a whole bunch of guys playing baseball and soccer, okay? You're either really good at baseball, getting a big check, or playing soccer and hanging around weird people.
Well, let me rephrase the question. Have you ever made a payment to a company called Mortgage Electronic Registration System?
no,
Okay. Have you ever made a payment to Recon Trust?
no.
Do you know
Objection, Your
who
Honor.
Recon Trust is?
Relevance.
I'm going to overrule in the interest of seeing what Mr. McCaffrey, where he's going with this. Please proceed, but make it brief.
Have you ever made a payment or heard of a company called Countrywide Home Loan Servicing?
I did make a few payments to them, I believe.
Okay. And now you make your payments to Bank of America.
Yes,
Have you ever received a notice in the mail explaining why Countrywide Home Loans, you're not making payments to them, but you're making payments to Bank of America?
yes.
Okay. When did you stop making your last payment?
2 years ago.
And in that 2-year period, have you tried to contact Bank of America to reconciliate how much your payment is or how much you owe them?
Yeah, I actually hired a company called NACA to do that for me.
Okay. And I believe NACA is a nonprofit organization?
Yes.
Okay. And you asked for their help, and did they provide any assistance for you?
Yes, they contacted Bank of America and tried to negotiate on my behalf, but I was turned down.
Okay. And are you aware of a document called a pooling and servicing agreement that says on page 39 of that agreement that your loan is not modifiable?
You made me aware of that, yes. I was not aware prior to that.
Okay. Would you say that, in your own words, that Bank of America misled you?
Absolutely.
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation. You'll allow it.
What's that?
You'd allow it.
I'm going to allow that. Okay.
Okay. Did you make any payments under a trial modification?
No, I did not.
Okay. So when Bank of America contacted you and said that you were available for a modification, did you feel when you were turned down, did you call them up and ask them the reason why you were turned down?
Yes, I did speak with someone from Bank of America, and they said I was turned down because of a clause in the mortgage and pooling servicing agreement, which I was not familiar with what that meant.
I have no further questions.
Mr. Stewart, do you want to ask some questions of the,
Yeah, I do.
I thought I'd give you a little bit more
Nancy, you got
time.
your ohm going wherever you are? I need it.
Hang on,
Ms.
Cynthia.
Cantrell, on or about May 26th of 2002, did you sit down at such and such location and read through the documents that you eventually signed that day?
No, I did not read them.
So you are claiming in this court that you signed these 32 pages and initialed on each page, yet you never read them?
That's correct.
Okay, are you aware that next to where you initial them, you are claiming that you did read that page?
If that's what it says, I did not read that, so I do not know, but that's what
Okay,
it says.
Ms. Cantrell, now are you lying then, or are you lying now, or were you lying then?
About what?
Well, where you initialed it, it says I've read this page, and you did initial it, so are you lying now, or were you lying then?
Objection.
Your Honor, I have the authority to ask her when she was lying.
I'm going to allow the question. Please answer.
Well, I'd have to first see an original with your purported signatures. All I've seen is a copy, and those are not my initials, and they're not my signature.
Okay, first of all, in these documents, it never says, by initialing here, I've read this.
Why are you tricking me?
I'm a friggin' lawyer. I'm a soulless piece of shit. What the hell you expect me to do? Jeez. Just because they ask you something, don't think it's based on anything. Remember, you've already kicked my ass. Okay, I'm in the corner. If I got to lie to win, at least it undoes all the other lies. A few more lies here and there, it ain't going to matter. No.
Give you all day to read these documents. They put you in a room and say, take all the time you want to read all this stuff. And when you sign all those things, whether you read them or not, you sign them.
Well, and, there's a certain amount of truth to that, but no, there's not a lot. There's a certain amount that when you,
Yesterday in court, ignorance.
okay, but hold on. Let me,
John, yesterday you said that in court, ignorance or lack of
okay, and,
bingo.
okay, we're not talking ignorance of the law. Okay,
They give you documents to read.
but you're not letting me finish. You're not going to understand. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. When you talk about cognizance, the concepts of scienter, you have to be able to understand what you're reading. If
Buying a house is the biggest investment we all make in our life.
okay, come on, guy. We've got a long way to go on this. Please stop. Listen, guys. There's difference between a law and a contract. If you want to get in the whole cognizant and scienter is very important in the law. There's no way you can understand that. How many people honestly believe you could take 1 week, go on vacation, do nothing but read that deed of trust and understand it?
But you have the right to get an attorney to help you.
I haven't been able to find an attorney that could understand it.
Oh, bullshit. I'm a real estate dude. I understand that.
Oh, okay.
I read them.
Okay, come on, please stop, guy. Please.
But I'm just saying that,
Okay, but there's a whole room of people here. Could you,
But you're telling me that we're ignorant and we can't read a document and understand what my commitment is?
okay. All right. Yeah, everybody's, okay, if you don't like it, you're more than welcome to leave because we're trying to learn something here. The point being that, no, I've worked with a lot of people. you're not going to understand the deed of trust. Okay?
Why not?
Could I finish? Really, please, you're going to have to leave if you don't stop. Okay? The point being, guys, and that notwithstanding, right now, in a hearing situation, I've already lost. I'm trying to get you to understand that just because, and you all need to understand this, just because the attorney says something when he's querying you there, don't accept it that it's true. Did I not just kind of kick your butt on something and it had no basis in reality? When you look at these documents, it will have a line for you to put your initials. Nowhere does it say, you know, by initializing this or initializing here, that you have read this page. Now, we do have that in contracts. Those of us that write contracts, we do that, especially when you're doing contracts with somebody that has a legal background or a business background, because you want them to say they read this. Saying you read this wouldn't do any good in court because you wouldn't have understood it anyways. Am I making sense? Okay. But I threw this at you so that I could call you a liar. You didn't rebut it.
Sign the contract, you ought to fucking know what the bond is. Don't come back. Sign a contract. Don't come back. Don't sign it. Don't sign it if you don't know what it says. Don't come back.
This is why you don't drink on Sunday morning. What Saturday night's for. Yeah, we was drinking yesterday too. Okay, but the point is, let's just put that aside. Do you see what I did?
Yeah, I should have asked for the document to have you point out exactly what you were
That's
talking
what I
about.
wanted to hear you say.
Sorry.
You guys should do the same thing. If I'm going to sit here, I'm an attorney. I am going to bullshit you. Do not believe what I'm saying. If you believe what an attorney says, you are screwed. Do not do that. Even the littlest things. Am I making sense? So if this guy says, well, by initialing you've said that you've read this whole page. And then you say, well, may I see that document? Well, judge, I'm sorry, I read the wrong part, Your Honor.
You did? Yeah, okay. That's fine.
And it happens in court all the time, guys. Okay? That's what you got to be ready for.
Okay,
And I'm going to do it again.
okay.
Okay. Now, Ms. Cantrell, on or about May 26th of 2002, you signed this document called the No Deed of Trust. Did you take the time to read this document?
I don't know what document you're talking about. You called it a note deed of trust. I've never seen a note deed of trust.
Okay, we'll call it the promissory note deed of trust. Do you remember signing this document?
First of all, can you bring me this so-called note deed of trust document that you're talking about?
Sure. Oh, okay. Here's the note deed of trust. Would you like to look at this document?
Well, that's kind of comical. These are two different documents. One is a note and one is a deed of trust.
Okay, you see what I'm doing? I'm getting it on the record that it's one document. Don't let that happen. Anything that I say, if you don't rebut it, if I keep saying this is one document and you say, well, I did read this document, what have you just proven? It's one document. At that point, you're screwed. Okay. That stuff, and I just wanted to go through this real quick so that you understand, unless you're willing to go to court and watch his stuff, and even if you go to court and watch it, you may not catch on if you don't know what to look for. But these games are played all the time. Lawyers practice these games. That is all they are. There is games. They're just a way to trick you. Be ready for it. That is why I'm saying when you guys go back home to your hometowns, you got to get people together. You got to go watch the cases, sit down, and everybody's going to have their own opinion of the cases, and you're going to figure out how and what you need to practice. And if you don't, listen, you know, I was 18 years old when I went in the Army.